Well, hi guys. Welcome to Relationship 204. Thank you for joining us. Some of us say, why do we say Relationship 204? Because one-on-one can be basic, and a lot of times relationships can be complicated. My name is Tanisha. I am the host, and I do have other hosts that join me here. I have John Momplaisir, I have Schkena Glory, I have Pastor G, Melanie, and Lewis Johnson. If
What's
you take
going
a
on,
look
everyone?
at the Right. If you take a look at the name, guys, they have their Instagram account. So if you need to get in contact or want to follow any of the hosts, you can do so by the handle that's on there. Okay, so we normally do our Relationship 204 on Blog Talk Radio. We've been doing it for 3+ years, actually, which is a great thing. So we decided our first time to go live. Why share all this information with one audience when we can just spread it around, y'all? Spread all the goodness around. And what we do is we talk about different things, topic. We talk about things folks have sent to us to talk about. If you like to contact us, you can by relationship204 at gmail.com, just the same as the title, relationship204 at gmail.com. So, guys, so since the quarantine and everything's been happening, people have a lot of time to send questions and comments. And I was thinking, the quarantine, you could say like the quarantine is about over with, or is it, almost over with? So most of the companies are letting at least 50% of capacity in. Hey, in so the quarantine is about over. What do you think about the virtual relationships or the relationships in the home? Are we thinking that they probably over with, or will there be a lot of people who decide, you know what, I thought this was for me, and this not for me? I mean, what are you guys thinking about that?
I would like to probably keep it on a positive note because
Okay.
I I think there's some relationships and some people who actually had the opportunity to rekindle something that they may have lost, or they may have been looking for in someone else if they were out there. I think being quarantined in the home with the person that you're with, or let's just say serious relationship or a marriage, I think it gives way to communication. I think probably the first couple of weeks was rough, right? The first couple of weeks was rough because it was shocking. But I think going into when you settle down and you settled in and you really look at the person that you've chosen. I know for me, if I chose to be with someone, whether it's for the rest of my life or onto courting to being with someone for the rest of my life, and I had to be with them, I would have to have dug into myself. And I think a lot of that has happened where people have really reflected on themselves and try to get a better understanding of, is this person that I truly want to be with the right person? And if it is, they truly took the time to make it work. Or now that they've given the time to really make it work, and especially with children, that bonding and that kind of getting together with them kind of helps the bondage for the whole family. Because I mean, we look at what's going on now in the world, actually in our own country, with things happening with especially our black brothers and our sisters. One of the reasons I think is that our sense of family has been lost, and
Sense of
sometimes we're missing that point. And I think when our black
and
families
some
get together,
and sometimes we're missing that point. I
Melanie,
think
your
when our
phone.
black families get together,
I think when we're missing that, and when we get it together, um, I think it's going to be a much better. Melanie, I think that's yours. Sorry, I think it would be a much better opportunity for us to really kind of keen down and think of what it's really about as it comes to relationships and truly being with someone and really trying to make that work. So although, it may have cost people their relationships, looking at it on a bright side, I think we're at a turn of the century where the black family, we have to make it work for each other. If we don't, then we are definitely in trouble.
You talked about a positive side, and I can just say, because it was virtual the other day, that Pastor G, he happened to find love during the quarantine. So that was
Look at that.
something positive that did work out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like he found love and got married. So, so that was a good
Listen,
thing. But
listen. I believe that, Lewis said, it all depends on where your person's heart is, or where their mind is, where they are, as a person, or individually and as a couple. Um, just so happened I was able, to work through some things for myself, because there were some hiccups and some hangups that I had. As my sister Melanie and Schkena like to always remind me, I had to work on myself, and not wear a mask. But when I took that mask off and was able to be my authentic self, come on, somebody. When I was able to take off the mask and be my authentic self, come on, somebody. When I was able to take off the mask and be my
it all
authentic self, good God from Zion, I feel like preaching. I was able to find
no.
love. God saw, God saw that I was ready, and then He opened my eyes and let me find my wife. And
Now
I've always
let me
said this.
stop you right there. Let me stop you right there because you didn't decide on your own to take off your mask. There had to be the past relationship things happen where you knew that I'm not being my authentic self. This person, how can I go on with a facade for so long? I like the laugh. Maybe that person don't like the laugh. I like,
Right, right.
going to the movies or a facade, or you think some things are funny. I'm just using that as an example, but we know we can go a little bit deeper in that. But
Oh yeah.
doing that, or I like certain movies, but this person may not like that. How long can you go on with the facade of being so you're not authentic with yourself. You're not authentic with the person who you're with, because eventually they're gonna wake up, whether it's man or woman, and say, well, who is this person? They're gonna feel like it's a fraud. You a
Well,
fraud or they're a fraud, the whole
well,
time.
I think what has happened is, in this quarantine, we have really in this quarantine, we've really been able to cut out the facade, so to speak. Because you in quarantine, which I think we talked about this on one of our shows before. You in quarantine, you stuck in one place, in one small area, or in one house with the same person for sometimes 14 days or more. And so you're gonna have to be your real authentic self. And if you ain't really ready to be around that person that long, and really seeing who they truly are, you're not ready for a relationship. I've said that before. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, I say you got to snatch that wig off so they can see
Yeah,
the real self. Because
absolutely.
eventually you're gonna have to take that wig off.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on, take off that lipstick. Take off that pretty lipstick. Come on, somebody. Take off the take off them pop on press on fingernails. Come on.
Let us see that beard that don't connect. How about that?
Come
But, but
come
anyway,
on. Come on.
so I have a question before I get into a dialect. And the question was, somebody wrote on last week. We had, oh my God, last week, for our listeners, you can go to iTunes and you can pull up Table Talk Media. You should be able to see all of the episodes. And last week's show was just so phenomenal. But one of the persons wrote me, and they wanted to know from each of us, what red flag will make you run quickly from someone, or meeting someone, or dating someone? What particular red flag for you that will make you run away quickly, or decide that's not the person for you? I just put that word there. Decide that's not the person for you. Anybody can answer. Let's try Shakina. What red flag would make you run quickly?
I needed to ponder on that a little bit because there's so many red flags that pops up in my mind. But if I can just, I mean, you listen. But if I can, it's all about the initial approach for me. Your initial approach tells me right then and there if you're going to be a red flag, yellow flag, or green, and we can continue to go forward with conversation. So for me, your initial approach is one or the other. Woman of God, God told you you my wife, and red flag run. Don't approach me with God said you my wife because God ain't tell me that. And I know him. We got a real good relationship. We like this. Okay. It could be that. It's all about the initial approach. It can be, oh, I want to take care of you. Don't tell a sister like me
Ah,
you want to take care of me when you first meet me. Man, you so beautiful. I want to take care of you. If you tell me that when I first meet you, I'm gonna bring you a stack of my bills. So if you didn't mean that,
oh
don't say
boy.
that to me. So it's all, and I've done it many times, and brothers
Right.
have looked at me like I was crazy. Well, that's what you said. Well, that ain't what I meant. Well, you shouldn't have said that. So for me, it's all about your initial approach. You got to approach me correctly. I'm gonna be real transparent. I had a man of God in my DM, my IG, 3 days ago, and he said the Lord put me on his heart. And he said the Lord told him to help me in areas of my relationships. And God told him to tell me whatever I need, ask him, and he would do it because God told him, he kept saying, God told him to help me. So I replied back because
Oh,
I
but
love,
God didn't let him see what you needed though.
right. So
Okay.
I replied back and I said, thank you. Have a nice day. That was a red flag. I'm good. I'm moving on. He wanted to reply back and say, could we meet up and fellowship somehow? Then he texted me a location to a hotel.
Ooh.
I can't make it up.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So I so
That was
now
for real block. Block.
it was like a resort type of cabin place somewhere in Georgia. So now I'm really in my feelings because I think he's trying to try me. And so what I did was I called him out and said, listen, that was
Apparently.
disrespectful. And I pretty much gave him a teaching moment. And I said, if he come in my inbox again, I'm going to screenshot this and let your church members know how you coming up, rolling up in people inboxes. And then he tried to come back and clean it up and say, oh no, my sister, you my sister in Christ. I didn't mean anything about that boy. Bye. So it's all about how you approach me.
I have a question. I have a
Let
question.
me.
Did he
So
at
Lewis.
least do
Hold
what
up, no
God
question.
said do?
So Lewis, no question. So
Yes.
Lewis, what red flag will make you run quickly?
I used to have a lot, but I don't. As I've gotten better at detecting and really speaking to people instead of Xing people out, I would say probably the someone's conversation. If she's of age, so when I mean of age, someone who's been through something, experience, decent age,
Grown
and
folk.
she has this uh this ghetto street
Just
and
say
don't get
it.
and
It is what
don't
it
get
is for
you,
you.
you know what I mean, this ghetto street with the hands rolling every but we I can't do that. I can't. That's like that's not even that's blue flag. That's not even red flag. That's blue flag.
Blue
Wait,
flag.
And don't
what's
get
the
me
blue
wrong.
flag?
There's a time and place for certain things. And hey, listen, I work in
Right.
corporate. I work for a company, but I can talk street when I'm talking with my boys. But if we're having a conversation, we're getting to know each other as a male and a female, and we're trying to be in each other's life. Nah. So I would say the conversation
Mm.
is a turn off for me.
What about you, John?
I'm big on mentality. I think an individual's mentality tells me everything I need to know about you. If all of your ex just the stories tell me the exact same thing and you're always the victim, and I don't hear you ever mention your part that you've played in just any error, any mistake that tells me you have like a victimhood, a victim type consciousness. I don't want to deal with that. I mean, just all 8 of your ex came up missing, just dead. Everybody showed up dead. You had nothing to do with it. It's a pattern. That kind of mentality throws me off. That's a turn off. That's a red flag to me. That says run the other way as fast as you possibly can. The minute you
Melanie?
start telling me,
Yeah, I get it. What about you, Mel?
I'm still I'm still pondering on that one, but I'm agreeing with what everybody is saying. Give me a few minutes.
Okay. Okay, I'll say for me, what was my biggest red flag is almost kind of what John said. When a person talks a lot, but don't have any action behind it. That's a big red flag for me. I don't like it. A lot of lip service. I'll do this. I'm doing this, and all this kind of stuff. I'm a part of this, but there's no action towards it. Because that put down that makes it more like you're not accountable. You're a liar. And you're just doing a lot of talking, and you're not who you say you actually are, or you're not doing what you actually would say. So that's it. That's for me. What about you, Gerald?
The biggest red flag for me is if every time you want to hang out with me is because you want to go eat something, or you only time you call me is because
He made me sick.
only time you call me is because you need something. You're not making any effort to try to hang out with me just to hang out. You always want something or somebody. Come on, somebody. You want something from me. That's a red flag for me because although I am a man, an authentic man that knows that I have to love my wife like Christ loved the church, and I have to uh, love her in an unconditional way, which it's to say I have to love her and expect nothing in return. I want to make sure that I had to make sure she was a wife and not a knife. Come on,
Listen,
somebody. I had to
ain't
make
nothing
sure.
wrong with getting a meal. Give people a meal.
Look,
Ain't nothing
look.
wrong with the meal
You
thing. You
get
get on my
no free
nerve with
meals
that
from
meal stuff.
Burkhalter. I give
You
listen.
know,
I give you all the free meals that you want. I give you all the free meals that you want, but you got to be appreciative of it. And you ain't just gonna call me on Sunday after church when you want a free meal, but Monday through Saturday I can't. You can't be found. That's just a red
let me
flag for
just
me.
give a warning.
well, you know what
If I
dude
can
you
give a
are.
warning,
It's like this: men put women in categories. Women put men in categories. You the food
That's right.
dude.
Oh,
Hey, I'm not gonna be. I'm not nobody's food dude. Praise the Lord.
that's true, T. That's true. That's true.
Brothers, listen, this is to all my brothers out there. If she only call you when she hungry, you the food dude. Cut off. Cut off. Move on.
it's
Move
not what
on,
y'all
sir.
That's
think.
a red flag.
Them foods are very costly now. It's costing you a lot. These
Yes.
women that's hitting you up. Let me get $40.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
a.
yeah, yeah.
Let me get out of that. But
Turn your volume
it's a
up.
lot. There's some exchanges happening. It's no longer just free food. Them free food are costing you now. You understand? So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. You can't just walk around just taking
So I
free
have
food.
a
Eventually, so they gonna want to.
I have a listener said the number one is a begging woman. Wow. I guess
That's what
that
I'm
would be the
talking about.
$40. I guess maybe is a begging woman. Yeah, is a begging woman. Well, especially if you first started talking and then the next day, people like to slide in, I got a bill, I need to get my bill paid. I always hear like my boy cousins say, when they meet someone, what turns them off is the next day some women have a bill or they got their phone bill to be paid or something like that. And it could be true, but I always tell them maybe that's just a scam, just to beware, because how they talking now. That's all I got to
Yeah,
say.
everybody ain't interested in you.
So I
Some are
have
just
this
looking for
before
help.
we get
That's the
into.
truth.
I can't hear you.
No, I said everybody is not actually are not interested in you. Some people are just looking for help, and that's the reality. That's what you got to be careful for.
That's true.
Well, that's true.
Listen, if
And
you
some
need help,
Yeah,
men
some
are
people
if
are
actually
you
looking for
need,
looking
help.
for a
You know.
mother figure.
What?
They looking for what, ma'am?
Some men have mommy issues. They're looking for a mother figure in a woman as well.
See?
Some men have mommy issues, and they're just looking for a woman just to fill that void of their mother. Oh, can you cook? Do you have a job? Do you have your own place? Sweetie, you're not coming over here laying up on this couch, putting your head on my lap. I'm rubbing your braids or your bald head or whatever you got going on, your receding hairline. You done missed going to the barber shop, so your Beijing, I'm not doing none of that. So it goes both ways. So men and women, they both beg, they just beg in different ways.
Yeah, you're right. She's right.
And you're
I don't know if
absolutely
that's
right.
begging. I think that's
You're
that
right.
that. All right, we'll leave that alone.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Because I mean, being a single woman, those are some of the things that they do ask. I hate to say it, guys who are out there, but that's some of the things y'all do say. Yeah, the first thing y'all say, you got your own place, or you got this, and or can I come
Who you live
over, or
with?
can I cook for you, or let me cook for you? No, no, and no. You need to do your own thing, and we'll meet up. But no, you can't come over and cook. No, you can't cut the grass, or no, you can't, paint the door. None of that. Well, not yet.
Can
You
I
can pay
play?
a bill. You can pay a
Can I play?
bill.
Yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate for a moment? Is it is it is it
Absolutely.
playing both? Is it playing both sides of the coin? If we as men want our women to be um, somewhat dependent on us because we like to be the provider, we like to be the protector and be the breadwinner. But then when they first come off, when you come out the gate begging, when you come out the gate needing, when you come out the gate with your hand out, that's a turnoff. So is that kind of oxymoronic? Just playing devil's advocate here.
I don't think so. I think men, mature men, definitely want to feel that a woman need them, and a mature woman needs to know that it's okay to be dependent in certain things from your man. I think it gives a healthy balance. I just think that we need to be mature about that. We need to be mature and not come out the door saying pay my bills. My kid's hungry. I'm hungry. And men not come out the door expecting us to be mama, but everyone know that there is a dependency that men need from women and vice versa. And we all just need to be mature enough to know what that is depending on your relationship.
I think it can go both ways.
Right.
If two people got together and said nothing, and just exactly said nothing, and just let each other nurture each other, what would that look like? I can tell you one thing: it will look like a man giving.
Ooh, love.
It will look like a man doing, offering, paying, doing certain things. From a woman's standpoint, I think it will, from her standpoint, it will be a nurturing, because me as a man, I'm not expecting her to pay, give, and do certain things. But I think as a natural nurturer, a woman, once she feels comfortable and once she feels like she has nothing to worry about, she offers those things such as cooking. Well, now I want to cook for this guy, and I want to let him feel comfortable around me in my home, whatever it may be. I think it comes natural. I think when we demand or when we overexert the things that society put on us,
Mhm.
it creates a barrier between us, as if we have to do this and we have to do that. I think
Yeah.
most things come natural when you have um, a just a unique or a real just understanding about who each other, how you will provide a value to my life. Like for a woman having money is not the value I'm looking for her to provide in my life. It's good to have it. That's not the value I'm looking for within her. And on the opposite end, I think from a woman's standpoint, I know there's certain things that she's looking for, but for her, she may be looking for, hey, listen, a provider, which a man should be doing, someone who's a protector. That's the type of value that he should bring. But I think in this day and age, money is starting to supersede protection. Money is starting to supersede some of the other things that we as men will provide if you're the right woman. But I think her demand right now is about money, and it's about what do you have and bringing stuff to the table. And I don't mind her doing that, but it should be a sensibility about what it is so we can add the right value to our lives.
Here's what I want to add to that. Here's what I want to add to that. Lewis is absolutely correct. The problem that we have in this society is we are and this is on both the men's side and the women's side. We are expecting the other party or the other person to do something, to be in a place that we are not yet in. For instance, a man that is looking for a wife is expecting the woman to be already in wifey mode when he's not even in the husband in the position to be a husband. And so therefore it puts this demand on certain things, and it makes it seem like that we're only focused on, like Lewis said, money. I'm only focused on how much money you got, because I really don't know what a real husband looks like. Or I'm only focusing on how much you can make love to me, because I don't know what a real woman looks like or what a real wife looks like. And that's the problem, especially in the body of Christ. We do not teach, or we have not taught our people, our children, and our members what it really means to be a husband, and we haven't taught our wives or the women what it really means to be wives. So now, like Lewis said, the women coming out with their hands, they coming out the door with their hands stuck out the door. They hand that they want money, money, money. How much money you got in the bank? Come on. Can you take me to Saltgrass? Can you take me to Ruth Chris? I don't want to eat McDonald's. Come on. That's a test. That's a test that I'm going to give to you. Can you eat McDonald's? My wife, she could eat McDonald's. That's why her last name is
It's unhealthy
Burkhalter.
food.
That's why her last name is
No, can't eat
Burkhalter.
McDonald's.
That's why her last name is Burkhalter, because I took her to a fast food restaurant and she could eat the fast food restaurant. And guess what? Now I'm gonna take her to the finest of restaurants. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Oh, bless y'all. Huh?
Mm. Let me read what somebody said. Karen John said, as a woman, we shouldn't have to downplay our earnings so that men feels needed. Providing is more than just money. You're absolutely right about that. And I will be the first one to say, I don't downgrade mine. If we go to McDonald's, it's because I want to go to McDonald's. But would that be a first choice? Absolutely not. And I'll just say that. Absolutely not. One is unhealthy. I would choose that. I would choose that route. Is unhealthy. Choose something else.
I don't ever think a woman should downgrade her value in the sense of money. I think, yes, she should want those things because it does take money to do some of the things that are necessary to keep a family afloat. I do understand that. But I think in this day and age in society, push so much about the financial security that you should have in your family, it almost supersedes you even getting to know someone and who they really are before you have a real understanding of their finances. Now, I think there should be a balance. I'm not saying fall in love and forget what the person, what type of money you guys can make together. I'm talking about have a balance in what that really and truly means. And the man who's a truck, he's a dump truck, guy it's an awesome job. It's just a dirty job. They make a ton of money. Some women will not even look at a man who works hard, who goes to work, willing to get himself dirty to make ends meet in his family, that she will turn her head away because of that type of job. I just don't understand that. I could be wrong, but at the same time, for me, a woman, and everybody knows this, a man will break his back for the woman he really wants to be with.
You better preach, sir.
Regardless, I don't care what it is. And he will do everything in his power. I don't care if it's take 1, 2 jobs, if it's just right. If it's the right woman and she's in the right place, her discernment is where it needs to be. I'm telling you, a man will do all those things
Mhm.
to make what your life should be, and that's being a queen. If you can't be his queen, then what else can you be? That is what causes him to go find someone else. To
Yes.
appreciate what it really means to be in a queen's position, and that means to understand that her king breaks his back to give her the world. And
The
I
sometimes
pro-
she
agree.
don't understand that.
the problem
And you know
is,
what?
go ahead, Shakina.
You know what, Lewis? I 100% agree with you because I did date a garbage truck person before when I first graduated from high school, and he was very hardworking. And what I learned about that is because he was so hardworking, and I wanted to where when we got together, that I did something just as much to show him how I appreciate how hard he's working and giving me the check. And so you're absolutely right. And I know some of us women on here, Melanie and Tanisha, can agree. If we get a man that works hard and he's doing it and he let us know he's doing it for his family, we're gonna want to do everything in our ability to when he come home to make sure he's happy. The problem is men don't want that one woman. Some men don't want one woman. They want to have four women to make up one woman, and they're spreading
One
themselves
woman.
all over the place. But they got that one main woman that they live with, but they got three
Okay.
other outside the house. And so when she come home, she's not feeling that you're doing all this for her because you're dividing yourself between her and the three other chicks that y'all with, but you calling yourself a hardworking man.
You wait all the
Well,
way
You
back.
said
technically,
that.
he
All
is
right.
working hard with other women.
That's
I,
it,
I,
Bill.
I love I love how Shakina and Mel just took it and took that and blamed it all on the men, like, and just totally not totally disregarded, but kind of skimmed over the main point that Lewis just made. And the main point that Lewis just made is, for the right woman, a man will break his back if she is the right woman. So it must mean you ain't the right woman if I got to have two, three, four, five other women on the side. I'm just
So,
saying. I'm
okay.
just saying.
So I'll ask this question. Let me ask this question to anyone. What is it? What is it when you're loving the wrong person? How is it that you're loving the wrong person? What is it sometimes? Because sometimes we have to have our self development of flaws you may have had in your past when you knew, or they may have had, you knew that you were loving the wrong person. And that would be sort of like our red flags, but you just was loving this person. And I'll be one to say it. Mine was a great liar. I had never met a person that lied so good before in my life. Just a great liar. You're loving this person, and then come to find out, like, okay, is everything a lie? You know what I'm saying? Like, is our whole 2 years of dating and doing this have been a lie? So loving the wrong person. How is that? How is that? How does that feel? Somehow your came off. But yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and go into our second session here. And in our second session, we're talking about, I'm going to talk about dating. Sometimes when we're dating, we have such anxiety when it comes to dating. I don't know about anybody else, but I had my share of anxiety when it comes to, just dating. And there are some things that I call them like anxiety. Some of the things that we deal with are some of the things that we put up with when it comes to dating. Hold on one second, guys. I'm trying to do something. Okay, here we go. When it comes to dating, so there are signs of dating anxiety, and you can think in your mind right now. What exactly could they be? for yourself. What are some dating anxieties that you may have? So I came up with the first one. Then you guys can add in to whatever you may think. So the first one that I came up with being is impulsive behavior, as a dating anxiety, meaning like that person is very impulsive. I'm gonna pick you up, or we're gonna have a, or we're going here, or being impulsive about let me come to your house, or let's do this. Everything is an impulsive move that makes me nervous. It do, because I feel like you rushing me into something, or you trying to be in control. It could be me, or you could be trying to be in control of something. I have experience that it's like everything is like a move so quickly. Not saying that I'm slow to love or anything like that, but just everything is just so. We got to do this. We got to hurry up and do this. We got to hurry up and get married. Let's go ahead and let's move in. It's like day two. We should move in. Hey, day three. I love you so much. I love you to the end of the world. All those impulsive things. Those things scare me. I don't know. Somebody, anybody?
Yeah, I think what gives me anxiety is when you over spiritualize the dating process. The Lord told me we
Mm,
would be here dating, and even told me you're going to be my husband. I swear I'll leave you right there at the restaurant. I just don't have the time for the foolishness. I don't have time for it. And that to me, you make you immediately you ruin it. You ruin it. You just make me nervous. My goal and when dating someone is to try to be open to get to know you, the real you, and I want to show you the real me. To the point now, I'm bringing in flaws. I'm willingly revealing flaws because I want you to know John, the real John. And so I don't want to get to know this person with a mask on that's, spiritualizing the whole process, and just the Lord said this and the Lord said that. Now I can't move because whatever I do, the Lord didn't say this part. The Lord said that. You try to dictate everything to what the Lord said. If He didn't speak to me, I don't want to hear it. I don't know how else
Absolutely.
to put it. That makes me
Absolutely.
nervous.
I want to I want to add mine. Mine is this. I hate when men want to come out before I feel comfortable with coming out. I'm not
mm,
ready to reveal that we're talking or dating or doing anything. And they are so ready to just come out. And I'm like, why are you such in a rush? I don't want to meet your homeboys yet. I don't want to meet your mama, your family. I don't want to take no picture right now. What you need a picture for? You got me right here in your presence. We don't need to do all that extra stuff. I just hate when they want to come out so quickly to let everybody know they got glory. Yeah, you got glory, but she ain't off the map yet. I ain't signed the last yet. So how you gonna be trying to put me out there to tell people I'm off the map before I'm ready to be off the map? I don't like that, and I've always had anxiety with that because I already know he gonna want a picture. He gonna want me to go around his homeboys or
pictures.
family or whatever, and it's just too soon for me. And that right there make me be like, nah, brother. Next.
That just simply means she ain't through getting
Hmm.
free meals yet. She ain't through getting free meals. She got somebody else giving her some free meals. That's all that means. She got somebody else taking her out. That's all that means, Doc. So
Somebody mute his mic.
Okay. So, what are some of the anxiety that you may have, Lewis? When dating, what are some of the signs of dating anxiety for you?
I would say when women get to, I mean, similar to what John was talking about, how everything is such an assurance through God, and God spoke, and everything is coming to fruition. I prayed for this, and this is what it is. No, no, let's back up a little bit. Maybe we need to talk to God together, and not you by yourself, and come up with some a better way that we can get our relationship on the right track. Because listen, I'll be honest with you. I pray. I pray God send me the right woman. I pray God give me the right mentality that when I do find the right woman, that the words that I speak, it comes off as always truth, and that I'm myself. And I think sometimes that also can put a woman in a position to say, wow, okay, this is what I prayed for. This is what and now let's kind of speed it. Let's both go on this fast track to, courting and getting to know each other. No, let's just wait, bump the brakes, and let's really just kind of learn each other first before we start talking about the whole, picture thing, just like Shakina said, wanting to put you on blast together. Like, hold on, bro. No, hold on, just a minute. So that's just mine, just the moving too fast thing, and thinking everything is about God has put this in place, so let's move forward quickly.
Right. Yeah, that's a big anxiety of mine too, because especially when you have I'm dating, but I do have a 16-year-old, so I have to be careful and mindful of the people who are around. So all that quick to get to know each other, all that quick to hurry up and let's move fast, like you call it, the fast track. That's definitely an anxiety. Someone said being yourself based on their last person. Wow, that's not only anxiety, but it can be an insecurity as well when you judge yourself based on the last person they dated. You know, um, I don't know if anybody has ever done that. I think most of them are pretty confident, but truth be told, maybe once upon a time in our life, people do that when they see that the ex may have, financially or the looks, or they start doubting themselves about who they are and how they look. I don't know. I go one here. Um, Oh, I think somebody else said being anxious, thinking that someone else, as an anxiety. Now, the only reason you'll feel that way if they probably giving you some signs. I don't know somebody, but somebody tell me. But if you feel like you thinking that there's someone else and you don't measure up, you might be thinking else that's in their life. Here, let's
But
see here what. So let me see what she wrote. Go ahead.
ooh,
I'm
that's
trying
good.
to put
That's
the
good.
questions in, guys.
That's good.
Whoa.
I love what Charles, the
Okay,
author,
my
the
Y'all
anxiety
author
is
see that?
Charles
who
wrote.
isn't dating me.
Y'all see that?
Yes,
Let me see what you wrote.
yes.
My anxiety is dating someone who isn't dating me. I find it when I meet someone and I like that person, I put all my energy into that person and they don't do the same. So I have to learn not to date someone who isn't dating me. And you're absolutely right. And it's so heartbreaking because to find out,
Ooh.
especially when you, like you said, you put all your energy in this person, and it's like, okay, so we're not together. Oh no, we're just friends. Or they find, or they dating someone else, and they tell you you're in the friend zone, or something like that. And we put our energy, and that's some of the things that sometimes we do too much as women. I don't know about men, but sometimes as women, we put a lot of energy, more energy, and I'll say this versus the man, we put a lot of energy in a relationship because sometimes as women, I'm saying something, I ain't saying you, as women, the first time we meet someone and we think that they're great, we have a big fantasy in our head of how it's going to be. And I think that comes with as little girls, we have this fantasy, like to be and how this person going to be. So we just indulge in this person. The first thing they want to do is they want to change their dress code. They want to, you should get your hair cut like this. They go to their house. You should put this mirror up. We just get so involved, into their life. That are they involved in your life as the same way? I'm just asking that question.
Yeah, I want to offer advice to
How do you
Author
determine that
Charles.
you're wasting? Go ahead.
I want to tell Arthur Charles that she's absolutely right. And I want to give her a quick way to avoid doing that. A quick way to avoid doing that is follow the man's lead. Men are the head anyway. And so normally they want to be in control of initiating, and they should initiate and guide the process so that we can move at their pace. Follow his lead. If he's not giving you all that energy, don't give him all that energy. If he's giving you all that energy, give him all that energy. But pace yourself and follow his lead. You can't go wrong if a man just call you when it's convenient for him. Y'all went on a date and a date was good in your eyesight, but you ain't heard from him in 3 days. Then you wait 3 days to hear from him again, or or you call him in 3 days. I say follow his lead. That way you're not pushing him too fast. He won't feel the pressure. But make sure when you do spend that time with him, in that moment, you're matching his energy. If he's showing you that
Can
he's feeling you, connect. Show him
can
you're
I
feeling him. But follow his lead. Go ahead, John.
can let me just add just a little something to that really quick. I think I get you. I'm going to play a devil's advocate a little bit here. I think a lot of women are missing out on a lot of great men because they're not understanding what it is to be receptive and how to respond. So
Talk, sir.
I think we're teaching women to sit here and a man, hey, you are gorgeous, you are beautiful, and compliment, and they don't even give you a thank you because they don't know how to accept that and how to receive that.
Some
There's a
women,
lot of
some women,
men who are giving off energy, good energy that women just don't know how to receive and don't know how to respond.
some
I hear a lot
women.
of
Don't
women
say
come to me and
all.
they're like, no, of course, I'm specifying some. I'm hearing a lot of he ghost me, and then I'm getting a chance to speak to these men, and these men are saying, no, I called her every day for the past 3 months. I purposely didn't call her to see if I would get a call, and she would not call me. This cannot be one-sided. It cannot be, oh my God, he's putting in all this effort, and you're not going to ever respond to it. It's a key thing. I think a lot of women are missing out on that. It's not just sitting back on the queen, he's the peasant. It's king queen relationship, and there has to be something that you put back. It's the law of reciprocity. It's a give and take kind of thing. And so I think, unfortunately, I'm hearing a lot of ghosting stories, and I think a lot of that comes from women not understanding the mind of a masculine man. I think they assume men are just like they are, and then we have a culture that's teaching women to be completely masculine. So we got a whole uh,
That's right.
issue here today.
That's right.
I, I think a lot of ghosting, and I think a lot of ghosting just come from communication. It's something that Lewis always talks about communication. I think it just come from communication. When that person don't, somebody is echoing. When that person don't know how to communicate, maybe we should be friends, or don't know how to communicate. Maybe he or she asked something of them, and they don't know how to communicate. Maybe they're on different levels or whatever the case may be. I think a lot of times it comes from just that, just the communication. It's a sad thing because somebody just wrote me, how do you one of her anxiety is how to accept rejection. And ghosting is a rejection, but how do you accept the rejection, when people ghost you? Because some people can get really offended. They'll want to call you and say, well, why you ain't call me? Or, I thought we was getting along good. What's your problem? They'll want to blast you out, immediately, or they'll just suck it up and say, oh, okay, well, that's just not for me. But everybody don't deal with it properly, just like this young lady, well, man, I don't know, said was their anxiety is dealing with rejection from people when it comes to dating. And sometimes that happens. Maybe not everybody on here, Melanie or Shakita get rejected, but some people or some women do get rejected, and a thing. And somebody, Risha, said rejection can be a blessing, and you're right, because you may have missed somebody who you don't need to be with. That's absolutely
That's
true.
right.
I'm gonna say
Amen.
this. I'm gonna say this, and
But
this
you
just
let
goes.
some of these men tell You let some of these men say it, they'll tell you that, oh, you missing out on your blessing. But in my mind, I be trying to figure out, I be saying, thank you, Jesus, because if he can already just be cocky enough to tell me I'm missing out on a blessing after 2 hours of a conversation, then you absolutely right. I really would miss that blessing, and I don't even want it.
Look at.
Absolutely.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I'm tired of this narrative that women say men are being too cocky. Yeah, listen, I know what I bring to the table, but it's just like what John just said. Some women just don't know how to receive what I'm bringing to the table. And that don't mean that I'm arrogant. That don't mean that I'm just overzealous or overcocky. It means that I'm an authentic man and I know what I bring to the table. And we got
It's not
Curtis stop
necessarily
Curtis
that,
start.
Pastor G. It's not necessarily that, Pastor G. You saying what you bring to the table. You might be bringing lobster and shrimp to the table. Some people might be allergic to shellfish. So you cannot necessarily say some women don't like what you bring to the table. You cannot say that. I'm a ribeye medium person myself, if I can just add that.
Hey, so
Well,
I
well, if
think
you don't,
I,
if you're allergic to shellfish, I got an EpiPen. If you're allergic to shellfish, I got an EpiPen. And you done missed
Why
out on
push
your
it? Why
blessing.
push it?
so let's back up a little bit,
The
Amnish,
same thing with,
Tanisha. Hold on one second.
go ahead.
So I read in that clip how she felt like she's using up. How does she, not use up all her energy or put all her energy in something that this person is not really into, kind of like not into her or really dating her. So, I did some study on this, especially dealing with the energy of what we put forth in relationships. All energy used is not energy lost. I think we have to remember what that means, because you always have um, ways to put forth energy. It's the how. So, prime example, kinetic energy, and I'm explain that kinetic energy is what moves that energy, or what moves the motion to for you to put forth that much energy. I found out that women, and not all, and I'll say the same thing for men, that women put forth her emotion in that energy. So when she put that emotion in that energy, thinking she's putting too much into it without his right response, which can sometimes mean, oh, he's not into me. And a man may be putting in a different type of energy from a logical standpoint as to what I can do and how I can set up certain things for you in our life. My response may not be the same response. Can also be confused with I'm not putting forth the same energy in you and I'm not receiving that back. It comes from the lack of understanding each other, the comprehension of each other. When I talk, yeah, you can my perception or your perception is important, but if your comprehension is messed up, it doesn't matter how you perceive what I'm talking. Your comprehension have to be at a level to understand what I'm talking about and then regurgitate so I can understand that you know what I'm talking about. And it needs to go back and forth so we all can be on the same page. I also think a lot of women are afraid to stop a man in his track when he's doing so much in his representative role, to stop him in his track to say, listen, I love what you're doing. I hope this doesn't stop, because this is what bringing me closer to you, that you continue to hold the door, that you continue to talk to me at night, that you continue to call me when it's needed. If she does not stop him in his track and follow up on some of those things he's doing well to make her attractive to him, then that's going to be on her.
Let me let me
Absolutely. So you,
let me
All
say
right. Well,
let me
But
say
y'all
this.
then
see that
some
handle,
men,
men love right.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
and you're
Curtis Stark.
absolutely right, Louis, but some men actually, it's a facade. They play this card and they play that woman and they do everything that they need to do with that woman to get her where he wants her to be. And then here come the foolishness. But you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. But in some cases, some men really do that. Some men really are just there just to see what they can get what they want. And now here's the mess. I mean, men know exactly how to prey on a woman. They study women just how we study men to know what we like, what we our do's, what our don'ts, what's our trigger points. And men do play on that to with certain women.
I mean,
I
I
think
understand
Strong
that.
how we
women,
avoid
especially.
how we how we avoid that, both the man and the woman side. How we avoid that is what one of the viewers, I think his name is Curtis Starks. What he said was, we've got to be able to have the conversation at the beginning. What is it that you're looking for? What do you want out of this relationship? Are we just dating just to date? Are we dating with purpose? Are we having fun? Are we friends with benefits? What is it? What is it? And so if you have that conversation, and I think I've heard John say this before, if we have the hard conversation in the beginning, and put all of our cards out on the table and just say, hey, I'm looking for my purpose mate. Here's let me be transparent. This is what I did when I was dating my wife. I said, listen, I'm into you. I want to get to know you. And I'm dating. I'm not dating I don't want to just date you just to date you. I'm dating looking for my wife, for my purpose mate. I want to date you with the intent of, at the end of this, I want to marry you. And I don't just date people just to be dating them. Don't be start now. Don't y'all start that. Don't y'all start that. Because y'all won't doing that to
let me add
everybody else. Don't do it to me right now. Y'all gonna let me talk tonight.
let me add
Y'all
something to
gonna let
that.
me talk tonight. Don't you do that.
Let me
Don't you
add
do
something
that.
to that. I think one of the
We
issues
let
is
you
not just
talk
the
all the
conversation.
time.
It's not just the
Go
conversation,
ahead,
but
John.
I don't think we properly understand dating. Like
I
I
can
think
hardly hear
Tanisha
you.
mentioned it, that both women and men do this. She said that women do it, but we put up fantasies when we really like somebody. The reality is this, and I'll tell a woman straight up, I'm attracted to you physically. That's all that is. Date number one, that's all you got, baby girl. That's what got me out.
It's true.
Physical attraction. You're gonna open your mouth, and just that quickly, that physical attraction can disappear. One time, I met
Gone.
a quick story. I'll be 2 seconds. I met a young lady at a store one time. I was shopping. She was in the person ahead of me in the line. You know, I began thanking God because I said I had met. Surely, this is the Lord's anointed. Surely, this is the one God has reserved for me. She was just fine. I never met anything so beautiful in my life. And then Sister Girl opened her mouth, and I said, never mind. You know, I was immediately turned off. I don't know if I'm even really attracted to you until we've had a conversation. I just don't know. Right now, I'm simply physically attracted to you. Upon a few dates, when I get to understand your mentality, after I've vetted you, because, you know, it's sort of like an interview. We're both interviewing one another. You're coming in lying to me. I'm lying to you. You know, nobody goes on an interview and
Absolutely.
says, uh, you know, I'm gonna be late all the time. I come in late. I steal stuff at the job. I don't really work. I like to hide in the bathroom. Who says that? You know, you surprised. It's a surprise. So, as an interviewer, your job is to discover what they're hiding. You have That's what vetting is, and this is why we have so much relationship issues. Is because we're not vetting individuals properly. You know, I realize when relationships end, one of the things we always say is, I knew. How did you? Why didn't you listen to it? And there's a flip side to this. We talked about red flags, and then there's yellow flags. You proceed with caution, and green flags. I know people that ruin green flags. It's a go. They're great. They're a great individual,
Yep.
but we were not trained or taught what to
Yep.
do when it goes right. Oh my God, this is the first man that hasn't dogged me out. This is the first woman that hasn't tried me. They're actually doing this right. I didn't
Absolutely.
prepare for this. I prepared for failure. I prepared to curse them out. I
That's
prepared to
right. That's
ghost
right.
her, but I didn't prepare for success. Now here it is.
Yeah.
I've met a great individual, and I don't know how to nourish this. I don't know how to sustain and maintain this relationship. And so I think we need to understand the rules, and there are unspoken rules of dating. And until we fully have a real dialogue and get real comprehension on what we're doing here, that I'm just getting to know you, we gonna mess this thing up. And if men were be completely on, because I get, nowadays I don't care anymore. I'm just being honest. I'm attracted to you, baby girl. What do you like about me? I love your booty. I love your shape. I love your face. You're beautiful. I find you to be very you're appealing to
Why
me.
the first thing
There's
was the
something
booty?
about you
Why the
draws me
booty was
in.
the first thing? Goodness gracious.
Well, not necessarily.
Cause that's what he like.
I can do without a booty. But what I'm saying is, physically, you drew me in. But that's all it is, baby girl. Because oftentimes, some of the beautiful women spend a lot of time putting effort in beauty growing up, and there's really not a lot up here or in personality. That's why I want a late bloomer. I want a woman who was ugly in her early years, and then later on she got beautiful. You see what I'm saying? Because when they've been pretty all their life, it's a problem. I need you to understand the struggle, to have been ugly before. That way when because women that are not that attractive focus on personality. They know they can't focus on the beauty. They focus on
That's good.
mentality. They
That's good,
invest
sir.
in their mind. They invest in who they are. Some women,
Mm-hmm.
all they've ever invested in is looks.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
look is
that's so
just
good,
surface. I
John.
got to get a little deeper.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I endorse that, y'all. I'm a woman. I gotta endorse it this time.
What? Melanie
That's good. So
agrees.
somebody wrote,
Schkena agrees.
He,
Schkena agrees.
he's absolutely right. But I do want to add to that, and I think one of the people in the comments said this. When we date, we have to, like Lewis said, in the beginning, come straight out. Come straight out with it. But what the beginning is, it can be the first date where you sit down with somebody and you say, listen, this is what I'm looking for. Or you can go on a few dates. And after going on a few dates, if you like this person, then you can say, hey, let's have a conversation. I'm kind of liking you. I think you like me. Do we see this going anywhere? I think, but in the beginning, these conversations that Lewis and John is talking about, they need to be had. You need to be real with that person, because guess what? When you first meet them, you're meeting their representative. I'm going to give you my best foot forward. You're not going to see my edges yet. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see my braids underneath my wig yet. You're getting my representative. I want to put my best foot forward. But within a few dinner dates, because you're going to take me to dinner, I like to eat. Within a few dinner dates, and we going to places less upscale, like Ruth Chris, not McDonald's. After you done show me that your money is not an issue, then I'm going. Then, if I like you, I want to have the conversation. Man, listen, you fine. Now, I'm gonna do what John did. Boy, you look real good. You fine. I like that smile. That smell nice. I like how you dress. Your shoes is clean. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you. You had some real good conversation. I was guiding you. Where we going with this? I would probably do that after the third or fourth date, because I want to make sure I like him. I want to see what our conversation is like. And if it all goes well, then I'm moving in to say, let's date exclusively. And it's just me and you. That gonna give me the
Go
okay,
ahead,
I want
Pastor
to add
G.
something to
Go
that.
ahead, Pastor G.
No, no, no. I want to add something to that. When you said dating, now people can do their good interviews. They can answer all the good questions. They can do all that. But for me, I have to see your actions. It's all about what you do. It's how you react to things and how you solve things. That's what matters to me. That intellect of how you respond to things that go on, because those are the things that when we grow in life together, I'm going to be looking for. So it's not just so much as what they say, because people can say a lot of stuff and they can play along with it, for a whole 6 months. But it's how you deal with life and life situations. It's how you respond. It's how your actions are, even to us, or even to me, as a woman, as a person. Those things matter to me. Everybody have their own suggestive things that matter to them. Now, one person wrote, Lord, I lost it. One person wrote, and this would be the last part of it. They wrote, should we not expect change, but just appreciate the flaws? And that can be for anybody. Should we not expect change? Meaning, at an age that we are, I'm just gonna assume and add something to it. The first thing we say is,
Yes.
I've been doing this all this while. I'm not
No,
gonna
no, no.
change. I'm who
No.
I am. And
Mm-mm.
should
No,
we
no,
just
no,
expect that
no,
and just accept the flaws?
no, no, no,
Who
no.
say no?
That's how I am. It's not gonna fly by anymore. We're not doing that. Accept me for who I am. This is no. You're toxic. We're not doing that anymore. All right. Uh, we're not asking for everyone to come into the dating equation. Uh, Believe it or not, you don't even have to be 100% healed. You just have to be at a place where you could function and growing and working towards that. And the problem I think a lot of people have is we put on other people that they have to change, but we're telling them that you just gonna have to accept me for who I am. No, it don't work that way. We have to be evolving. We have to be growing. We have to be evolving and changing. And it's okay to be stretched. One thing I've noticed, a lot of people cannot handle. I don't even want to call it constructive criticism. It's just they just cannot. Uh, Even if it's to make us better, you just gonna have to accept this. This just how I am. No. Let's. I don't mind. Somebody years ago called me. I can't say the term, but somebody called me Mr. Fix a thought. Let me say that. Mr. Fix a thought. And I don't have a problem with that. I believe a man should cultivate and upgrade a woman, and I don't mind it. In fact, there's a demand. I believe every woman carries the capability. I believe every woman carries the capability to also upgrade a man. I think we should be making one another better. I don't
True.
see anything wrong with that. And I'm pro growing. I'm not with the staying stagnant, remaining the same
Yeah.
person you were 3 years ago. You had that same issue with your last 6 exes, and you still talking about no,
Yeah.
baby girl. We're not doing that. Not anymore. Not in 2020. Not after COVID-19. Lord have mercy. We're not doing that.
It actually goes against everything within a relationship and personally. If you accept someone to say, listen, accept my flaws, which is fine, flaws, and we can work at that, but accept not for me not to change. Change is inevitable. You're talking about defying the laws of nature. Change will happen as you get older. Your thought processes change. Or even growth. And if you fail to do that, and you should be a forever growing person, then you're actually throwing out your ability to grow your own relationship. And then what's the point?
Let me add this. I heard a wise man say, and it was actually someone that I looked up to say this. He said to me, he said, you have to always be willing to accept change from your partner and be willing to change with them. Because when you're 29, you're not going to be the same person that you were when you turned 39. And then when you've turned 49, you're not the same person that you were when you were 39, and so forth and so on. So we've got to be willing to accept and learn, accept the change that these people our spouses are going through, and we change them or we change with them. We grow and accept. Now that's not to say I'm not accepting your flaws. Because watch this. John said it just now. You don't have to be 100% healed. You just got to be able to be functioned, but be willing to grow. I've got to be able to help you unpack your bags. But once you unpack those bags, I don't need you. I don't need you putting the same type of luggage or same type of baggage back together. Let's change. Let's grow from this place. We've learned. Okay, this was something that you had an issue with. Okay, I'm gonna help you come through this issue. You're gonna help me come through my issue. 10 years later, we shouldn't be going through the same thing that we was going through 10 years ago. You get what I'm saying?
That's true. Go ahead, Schkena. Oh, you just wanted to say that.
Don't listen here. Let me tell you something. You women been getting up here talking all night long. Every time I open my mouth, y'all want to hold up the number two. Listen,
Listeners out there, we just having fun. We love each other. This is my team here, and I'm so grateful that you guys have joined us. us. Like I said, this is our first live. You guys know that we do it on blog. We normally do it on blog, but you can listen to the recording. You can also see it live also on YouTube, and also go to iTunes to listen to the recording, or you can what is it? Subscribe to the actual episode itself. It's Table Talk Media. Table Talk Media. You can go there. You'll be able to subscribe to that iTunes and listen to all of the recordings, especially the last ones as well. We thank you guys so much for joining us. Let me put this on here again so you guys can see the actual handles of everyone if you want to, or if you would like to follow them. Just give me one moment here. There we go. So you can actually follow everybody on Instagram. Everyone has their Instagram handle that's there that you can follow them. There's myself, Tanisha Simpkins, ENT. There's Jean Momplaisir. There's Schkena underscore glory. There's there's a lot of words for your Pastor G. What does it say?
It says GDB Ministries.
Okay, don't do that to me, ministry. There's Melanie. She don't have her hand. I think it's Mel, and then Men Love and Right, and that's for Lewis. But so we want to thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna review and see how it went, and we'll tell you whether or not we'll be back live here on next Thursday, or if we'll be on blog. But I kind of like because I think we had a good time. Um, we had a good time. We was candid, may not be as candid as we normally are on blog, but I think that we were candid enough for our listeners. And we want to thank you guys for listening. And you guys have a great night. You guys don't hang up. And you guys have a great night. Thanks for listening. Make sure to tell a friend on next Thursday at 9 p.m.
Come back and see us, deuces.
Peace.